There is a world hidden beneath your sight, a world too small to see, too quiet to hear, yet powerful enough to alter the course of human history. A world made of shadows, microscopic forces drifting through air, water, and touch, waiting, watching, searching for a doorway into the human body. Viruses, silent particles of genetic code, neither fully alive nor fully dead. Entities that do not breathe, do not think, do not eat, yet move with purpose. They slip between cells like whispers, hijacking life itself to make copies of their own design. For centuries, humanity did not even know they existed. Invisible enemies shaping plagues, pandemics, extinctions, shaping evolution, shaping us. And tonight, as you listen, you will enter their hidden universe. A universe where life and non-life blur together, where a single strand of RNA can topple empires, where nature's smallest creations reveal some of its greatest mysteries. What are viruses? How do they invade? Why do they evolve faster than anything else on Earth? And how can something so small, so silent, so impossibly simple, hold such tremendous power over the living world? Let your breath slow. Let your mind open, because we are about to step into the unseen realm that surrounds you every moment of your life. The realm of the invisible enemy. In the vast architecture of life on Earth, viruses occupy a realm unlike anything else. They exist at the boundary between the living and the non-living, tiny packets of genetic instruction drifting through the world with no consciousness, no metabolism, no awareness. And yet, the moment they encounter a living cell, everything changes. They awaken not through life, but through opportunity. A virus cannot act on its own. It must borrow the machinery of other creatures, human, animal, plant, even bacteria, to fulfill its single purpose: replication. Under the microscope, their structures seem almost too simple to pose danger. A shell of protein, a strand of DNA or RNA, nothing more. No organs, no movement, no intention. But this simplicity is deceptive. It is the reason viruses are the most adaptable entities on the planet. They mutate faster than any living thing. They shape ecosystems, drive evolution, and rewrite genetic destiny without ever being truly alive. They are passengers on the winds of Earth, carried in droplets of breath, particles of dust, frozen glaciers, ocean spray, even starlit air drifting through the upper atmosphere. Once a virus enters the body, the battle becomes silent and microscopic. It attaches to a cell with uncanny precision, like a key fitting perfectly into a hidden lock. This is not intelligence, it is chemistry, perfected through billions of years of natural selection. A single binding event can unleash a chain reaction. The cell opens, the virus enters, and the genetic code within it floods the host like a hijacked script, rewriting the cell's identity. Suddenly, the cell no longer serves the body, it serves the invader. It becomes a factory, producing thousands of new viral particles, each one capable of spreading the infection further. And yet, for all their power, viruses remain invisible to every human sense. You cannot feel them as they move. You cannot see them as they drift. You cannot hear their invasion. Their impact is revealed only in symptoms: fever, fatigue, inflammation, the body's desperate attempt to defend itself. But beneath those symptoms lies a far deeper story: the immune system's ancient, instinctive recognition of an enemy that cannot be touched or reasoned with. Even now, at this moment, viral particles float in the air you breathe, some harmless, some ancient, some capable of waking old illnesses from frozen centuries. Humanity exists in constant contact with viruses, trillions of them around you, trillions more inside you, some harmful, many neutral, and some that have even become part of your DNA. Nearly 8% of the human genome is made from the genetic ghosts of ancient viruses, evidence of battles fought long before recorded history. You are not separate from this world, you are shaped by it. And as we move deeper into this unseen universe, you will discover that viruses are not merely enemies, but architects of evolution, sculptors of species, silent forces that have guided life on Earth for more than 3 billion years. To understand the true nature of viruses, we must look not at their scale, but at their structure, because within their microscopic form lies one of the most efficient biological systems ever discovered. A virus is not a cell, nor a living organism. It is a molecular machine, refined through billions of years of evolution to execute a single function with astonishing precision: the replication of genetic information. At the center of every virus lies its genome, either DNA or RNA, containing anywhere from a handful of genes to a few hundred, far fewer than even the simplest bacteria. These genes encode instructions for only the most essential components: the blueprint of the viral shell, the tools needed to enter a host cell, and the minimal signals required to hijack the host's biochemical pathways. Surrounding this genetic core is the capsid, a geometric protein shell built from repeating subunits. Many capsids form perfect icosahedrons, 20 triangular faces arranged in flawless molecular symmetry. Others twist into helical spirals or complex composite shapes, as seen in bacteriophages, which resemble microscopic lunar landers. This architecture is not random. It is molecular efficiency at its absolute peak: stable, protective, lightweight, self-assembling. Some viruses possess an additional layer, an envelope, a lipid membrane stolen from the host during the final moments of viral replication. Embedded in this membrane are spike proteins, molecular keys that determine which species, which organ, even which specific cell type a virus can infect. A single mutation in one of these proteins can alter the entire host range of a virus, unlocking new pathways of transmission and new evolutionary opportunities. Once inside the body, the real battle begins at the cellular level. Viruses exploit receptor-ligand interactions, binding with incredible specificity to surface proteins on host cells. HIV targets CD4 receptors on T cells. Influenza binds to sialic acid molecules in the respiratory tract. SARS-like coronaviruses use the ACE2 receptor. These interactions are so precise that even slight molecular shifts can determine whether a virus infects humans, animals, or no species at all. After attachment, viruses initiate entry through mechanisms that appear almost mechanical. Some fuse directly with the cell's membrane. Others are swallowed through endocytosis, slipping into the cell enclosed in a vesicle. Once inside, the viral genome is released uncoiled, exposed, and ready to redirect the host's molecular machinery. At this stage, the cell is no longer its own. Ribosomes, originally designed to build human proteins, begin assembling viral enzymes. The endoplasmic reticulum, normally used for cellular maintenance, becomes a viral factory. The nucleus may be infiltrated or bypassed entirely. Metabolic pathways are rerouted to prioritize viral replication. In some infections, viral replication is so rapid that a single cell can produce tens of thousands of new viral particles before it bursts, releasing them outward like a microscopic explosion. Yet the most extraordinary aspect of viral biology is not their destructiveness, but their adaptability. RNA viruses in particular mutate at astonishing rates, sometimes 1,000,000 times faster than human DNA. This rapid mutation enables them to escape immune defenses, jump between species, and evolve new mechanisms of survival within a single outbreak. Even now, as you breathe, thousands of viral genomes circulate around you, some ancient, some newly evolved, many harmless, a few potentially dangerous. Life and non-life, evolution and entropy, survival and destruction, all condensed into particles smaller than wavelengths of light. And as we journey deeper into this invisible realm, we begin to understand viruses are not simply pathogens. They are drivers of genetic innovation, shapers of ecosystems, and ancient participants in the story of life itself. In the hidden depths of the microscopic world, a viral invasion does not begin with force or chaos, but with an almost poetic stillness. A viral particle drifts through the body carried only by the soft randomness of molecular motion, without direction, intention, or awareness. Its surface proteins, shaped over billions of years of evolutionary refinement, wait for a single, precise match, the receptor of a vulnerable host cell. When that moment arrives, when a viral key meets its perfect biological lock, nothing dramatic happens on the surface. No sound, no tremor, no alarm. Yet on the molecular level, a door opens and the quiet beginnings of infection unfold. Once attached to the cell, the virus continues its progress with the same gentle subtlety. Some viruses merge with the cell membrane in a seamless fluid motion, allowing their contents to slip inside like a drop of oil blending into another. Others are slowly engulfed through endocytosis, carried inward by the cell's own routine processes, as if they were harmless nutrients. The cell does not recognize danger. It cannot distinguish friend from foe at this scale. It simply performs its usual duties, unaware that it has just welcomed something entirely foreign. When the surrounding vesicle dissolves, the viral genome is released into the dim interior of the cell, unfolding without urgency, as though awakening from a long, silent sleep. The moment the viral genome spreads through the cytoplasm, the internal landscape shifts. Ribosomes, the cell's tireless protein factories, begin reading instructions that were never meant to guide them. Yet they obey without hesitation, translating viral RNA with the same precision they use to sustain life. The endoplasmic reticulum folds these viral proteins carefully, the Golgi apparatus packages them methodically, and the cell, without understanding, devotes its energy to building the components of the invader. Every organelle performs its tasks faithfully, believing it serves the organism, unaware that it has been conscripted into manufacturing copies of the virus. Throughout this quiet transformation, the cell's outer appearance remains unchanged. It sends no warning, releases no alarm, displays no sign of distress. Inside, however, thousands of new viral particles begin to assemble with mechanical elegance. Capsids form first, then genetic cores, then the final structural components that complete each particle. Some viruses replicate slowly, allowing the cell to survive for a time while quietly exporting new infectious particles. Others produce such overwhelming numbers that the cell swells under the internal pressure until its membrane can no longer hold. When it finally ruptures, it bursts silently, releasing a cloud of newly formed virions into the surrounding space, each ready to begin the cycle again. As these particles drift outward, the process repeats itself. Random motion, recognition, entry, replication. The entire cycle is so simple, so efficient, and so profoundly ancient that it can feel less like an attack and more like a natural rhythm, an evolutionary whisper from the earliest days of Earth's biosphere. Viruses do not breathe, think, or desire, yet their ability to mutate, adapt, and exploit the machinery of living cells makes them some of the most successful biological entities ever to exist. They are reminders of how thin the boundary is between life and non-life, how delicate the definitions truly are. And as you imagine this molecular dance unfolding in the vast, unseen interior of the body, your own mind begins to drift with it. There is something hypnotic in the slow, circular nature of infection, this quiet merging, this subtle redirection of purpose. The cycles turn without haste, without sound, without resistance. The cell surrenders not through struggle, but through stillness. And in that stillness, as the mechanisms unfold with the grace of a slow, ancient ritual, you too feel yourself pulled deeper into calm, drifting into the gentle rhythm of biology, into a space where thought softens, where the world grows quiet, and where the invisible becomes strangely serene. Inside the quiet interior of the human body, the earliest moments of viral infection unfold without fanfare. The virus replicates in silence, the cell obeys without protest, and for a brief window of time, the body remains unaware of the microscopic transformation taking place. But eventually, subtle molecular signatures begin to accumulate: strands of foreign RNA, unusual protein fragments, chemical patterns that do not match the body's own design. And deep within the cytoplasm, tiny sentinels of the immune system awaken. These are the pattern recognition receptors, evolved over millions of years to detect the faintest traces of viral presence. When they sense these foreign shapes, they respond not with panic, but with a slow, deliberate signaling cascade that marks the beginning of the body's defense. Interferons are the first to rise. These remarkable molecules, released by infected cells, act like biochemical whispers sent to neighboring cells, warning them of the invisible invader. "Prepare yourselves," the message says in molecular form. "A virus is near." In response, the surrounding cells strengthen their antiviral defenses, shutting down their protein production machinery, tightening their membranes, and creating an internal environment hostile to replication. This early defense is not aggressive, but protective, designed to delay viral spread long enough for stronger immune forces to gather, buying time in a battle the conscious mind never notices. As interferons spread through the tissues, specialized immune cells begin to move with slow, deliberate purpose. Macrophages patrol the area like silent guardians, engulfing debris, consuming infected cells, and presenting fragments of viral proteins to the broader immune system. Dendritic cells, the messengers of immunity, collect these fragments and begin their journey toward the lymph nodes. They travel along chemical gradients, carrying with them a molecular story, a story of invasion written in protein patterns and genetic traces. Their role is not to fight, but to inform, to awaken the adaptive immune system that will soon mount a targeted and precise response. In the lymph nodes, T cells and B cells awaken from their dormant state. They do not act immediately. They study the viral fragments carefully, calibrating their receptors with exquisite precision. Each cell searches for the exact molecular signature that matches the invader. When that match is finally found, the immune system ignites into action with a calm but unstoppable force. B cells begin producing antibodies, complex Y-shaped proteins designed to latch onto the virus and prevent it from entering new cells. Meanwhile, cytotoxic T cells prepare to seek out and destroy infected cells with surgical precision, eliminating viral factories one by one. Yet even as this internal army prepares for battle, the body maintains a remarkable sense of balance. Inflammation rises, but only enough to slow the virus. Fever may develop, but only to make replication more difficult. The body calibrates each response with care, ensuring that the cure does not become more dangerous than the infection itself. This delicate equilibrium, guided by chemistry and shaped by evolution, unfolds like a quiet war beneath consciousness. No sound, no sensation, no awareness, just a deep, hidden choreography between invader and host. And while this microscopic struggle unfolds within you, the mind remains wrapped in a softer rhythm. There is something deeply hypnotic about imagining the body's internal defenses awakening, coordinating, communicating through chemical signals that drift like slow-moving currents. The immune system does not rush. It rises with measured purpose, with a calm precision that mirrors the slow cadence of breath in moments of deep rest. As you picture these silent guardians moving beneath the surface, you feel your own awareness drifting deeper into stillness, into tranquility, into the quiet pulse of life, defending itself with elegance and grace. As the immune system gathers its forces, the interior of the body becomes the stage for one of biology's most intricate battles, a conflict not fought with weapons or violence, but with molecules, receptors, and silent biochemical decisions unfolding in the dim space between life and non-life. When a cytotoxic T cell finally encounters a cell displaying viral fragments on its surface, the recognition is immediate. The T cell pauses, sensing the distorted signature of infection, and then releases a precise cocktail of perforins and granzymes. These molecules create microscopic openings in the infected cell's membrane, allowing enzymes to flow inward and trigger controlled self-destruction. There is no chaos, no explosion, just a quiet collapse, an intentional dismantling of a cell that has been overtaken by the virus. It is surgery on the scale of atoms, performed by the calm precision of evolution. At the same time, antibodies produced by B cells begin to fill the bloodstream like drifting constellations of molecular recognition. Each antibody floats with its arms open, searching for the unique structural patterns of the invading virus. When one finds a match, it binds tightly, neutralizing the virus by blocking its ability to enter new cells. Other immune cells detect these antibody-coated particles and engulf them in a slow, deliberate process known as phagocytosis. The antibodies do not kill the virus directly. Instead, they mark it, illuminate it, and hand it gently to the cells capable of destruction. This cooperation between different branches of immunity moves with the grace of a rehearsed dance, ensuring that every viral particle is accounted for. Meanwhile, deep inside the tissues, natural killer cells roam with remarkable independence. Unlike T cells, They require no training, no antigen presentation, no instruction. They sense distress changes in the membrane, unusual chemical signals, disruptions in the cell's internal logic, and they respond instantly. Their mission is not selective. It is instinctive, ancient, unconditional. They eliminate infected cells before the virus can complete its replication cycle, buying precious time for the adaptive immune system to fully mobilize. These cells represent the primal pulse of immunity, a whisper from the earliest days of multicellular life when survival depended on swift, unthinking action. As the battle intensifies, the body enters a state of profound biochemical coordination. Cytokines flow through the bloodstream like signals carried by invisible currents, adjusting the temperature, summoning reinforcements, amplifying or dampening inflammation. Fever rises in gentle increments, not as a symptom of suffering, but as a calculated barrier, slowing the viral enzymes that depend on cooler temperatures. Every rise in heat, every shift in chemistry, every redistribution of energy is part of the body's strategy to weaken the invader. Even fatigue serves a purpose, compelling the organism to rest, to conserve resources, to direct all available energy into fighting the microscopic enemy within. And yet, despite the intensity of these internal events, the entire conflict remains utterly silent. You do not hear the cells communicating with chemical signals. You do not feel the antibodies weaving through your bloodstream. You do not sense the T cells examining each surface protein with delicate precision. The war unfolds beneath awareness, beneath sensation, beneath thought. It is a conflict waged in complete darkness, in complete quiet, following rules encoded long before human consciousness emerged. And as you imagine this hidden battle taking place within the sanctuary of your own body, you may feel a deep, soothing heaviness begin to settle in your mind, a recognition that even in moments of danger, the body operates with calm intelligence, with ordered purpose, with a rhythm that mirrors the slow, hypnotic cadence of your own breath. This war is not chaos. It is structure. It is balance. It is the silent choreography of life protecting itself. And as you visualize this harmony beneath your skin, your awareness drifts deeper, floating on the quiet certainty that every system within you knows exactly what to do. As the immune system fights to contain the infection, another force begins to unfold within the very particles it seeks to eliminate, a force that makes viruses among the most adaptable entities on Earth: mutation. For many viruses, especially RNA viruses, each cycle of replication carries an inherent imperfection. The viral polymerases that copy the genome move quickly, but without the proofreading mechanisms that protect human DNA. With every replication, small errors appear: single nucleotide changes, deletions, insertions, subtle shifts in the genetic script. Most of these mutations are meaningless, fading into biological obscurity. But a few introduce changes that alter the virus's behavior, allowing it to escape antibodies, infect new cells more efficiently, or cross the boundaries between species. It is not intentional evolution. It is drift shaped by selection, a dance of chance and consequence unfolding at unimaginable speed. Within each infected cell, thousands of viral copies are produced simultaneously, each carrying slight variations. This creates a quasi-species, a cloud of related but distinct viral genomes that swirl through the body like a molecular storm. Natural selection acts on this cloud in real time. Antibodies block one variant, but another slips past. Cellular receptors reject one version, but a mutated form binds more tightly. The immune system adapts, but the virus adapts faster. And yet, this rapid evolution is not chaos. It is the inevitable outcome of molecular simplicity. A virus has so little genetic material that a single mutation can shift its destiny. A small change in a spike protein, a tiny alteration in the capsid surface, a slight modification of an enzyme's active site, each can reshape the trajectory of an entire outbreak. These mutations do not happen because viruses want to survive. They happen because replication is imperfect. But once a beneficial mutation appears, it spreads through the viral population with astonishing efficiency. A single advantageous variant can outcompete thousands of others, dominating the infection within days. This is how new strains emerge, how one viral lineage can suddenly become more infectious, more resilient, or more evasive than its predecessors. It is evolution condensed into the smallest possible unit of life, accelerated by the relentless pressure of the immune system and the vast numbers of viral particles produced in each cycle. As these variations arise, the body engages in its own counter-adaptations. B cells undergo somatic hypermutation, refining their antibodies through rapid genetic editing to better recognize altered viral forms. T cells adjust their receptors, seeking newly exposed protein fragments. This interplay between mutation and immunity becomes a molecular conversation. The virus alters its identity, the immune system recalibrates its perception, and the battle becomes not a simple confrontation, but a shifting equilibrium. The outcome is determined by speed, accuracy, and the delicate interplay between error and correction. Yet beneath this intricate dance of mutation and adaptation lies a deeper truth. Viruses evolve not only within hosts but across generations of species. Birds, bats, rodents, humans, each acts as a reservoir where viral diversity expands like branches of a molecular tree. Recombination events occur when multiple viruses infect the same cell, blending genetic segments into new hybrid forms. Entire lineages leap across species boundaries when mutations allow entry into new cellular receptors. The invisible world is a vast web of genetic possibilities, constantly reshaping itself, constantly testing new configurations, constantly exploring the edges of biological potential. And as you imagine this evolutionary ballet unfolding at the microscopic scale, you may feel a soothing sense of distance, an understanding that the world inside you is alive with motion, with adaptation, with ancient rhythms older than human awareness. The quiet drift of mutation, the soft pressure of selection, the perpetual rebalancing of host and pathogen, all of it moves in a slow, almost meditative pattern when viewed from afar. These molecular stories do not rush. They unfold with the timeless cadence of nature itself. And as you sink deeper into this realization, your thoughts slow, your breath softens, and you drift into the gentle calm of understanding how even the smallest particles follow laws as elegant and tranquil as the tides of sleep. Across the vast timeline of Earth's history, viruses have not merely been invaders, they have been sculptors. Hidden in their simplicity lies a power that extends far beyond infection, the ability to shape the evolution of every living species. Long before humans existed, long before animals, even before complex cells, viruses drifted through primordial oceans as fragments of replicating code, weaving themselves into the earliest forms of life. Their genetic material inserted into ancient genomes, creating new variations, new functions, new possibilities. Over billions of years, these viral imprints accumulated, becoming silent chapters in the story of evolution. Today, nearly 8% of the human genome consists of fossilized viral sequences, ancient remnants of infections that occurred in distant ancestors and were passed down across millennia, eventually becoming part of what makes us human. These viral remnants, known as endogenous retroviruses, are not just inert relics. Some have been co-opted by the body, repurposed into essential biological functions. A protein called syncytin, crucial for the formation of the human placenta, originated from an ancient viral envelope gene. Without this viral contribution, mammals as we know them would not exist, and human birth itself would be impossible. In this way, viruses have acted as unexpected partners in the evolution of complex life, offering genetic innovations that natural selection could never have produced alone. They are, in a sense, nature's genetic experimenters, inserting new ideas into the blueprint of life, one infection at a time. At a broader scale, viruses influence ecosystems with quiet but profound force. In the oceans, giant bacteriophages constantly infect and lyse microbial cells, releasing nutrients back into the environment and sustaining the marine food web. Without these viral cycles, global nutrient flows would collapse, oxygen production would plummet, and the delicate balance of Earth's climate would shift dramatically. On land, plant viruses shape the resilience of forests and crops, while insect viruses influence population dynamics, preventing any single species from overwhelming its habitat. Though invisible, viruses maintain the equilibrium of entire ecosystems, acting as regulators that keep life in motion. Even within individual organisms, viral pressure shapes evolutionary responses in real time. Our innate immune system interferons, pattern recognition receptors, antiviral enzymes exists because ancient hosts had to survive endless waves of viral assaults. Each outbreak, each transmission, each adaptation sharpened the immune system, refining its ability to detect danger and respond with precision. Without viruses posing constant evolutionary challenges, the immune system would never have grown so complex, so sensitive, so astonishingly effective. Viruses, by threatening life, have strengthened it. And in a more mysterious sense, viruses have helped expand the genetic creativity of life. Through a process known as horizontal gene transfer, viral infections can shuttle genes between species, blending genetic information in ways traditional reproduction cannot. This exchange accelerates evolution, forming new traits and unexpected abilities. The boundaries between species grow porous, genetic material flows in directions unimaginable, and life becomes a vast, interconnected tapestry woven partly by viral threads. Viruses are not simply external agents. They are participants in the grand genetic dialogue of Earth. As you drift deeper into this realization, a gentle sense of awe begins to settle. The invisible enemy, feared for its power to cause illness, is also an ancient architect, subtle, relentless, impossibly patient. Its influence stretches through time like a quiet tide, shaping not only the vulnerabilities of life but also its strengths, its diversity, its innovation. And as you picture this long evolutionary story unfolding in silence across billions of years, your breath slows, your mind softens, and you feel yourself sinking into a deeper calm, surrounded by the quiet understanding that even the smallest particles have shaped the very fabric of who you are. Within every human body exists an entire universe of viruses, a hidden ecosystem known as the virome. It is easy to imagine viruses only as hostile invaders, but the reality is far more intricate. Trillions of viral particles reside within you at this very moment, drifting through the gut, the lungs, the skin, and even the bloodstream. Most are bacteriophages, peacefully infecting the bacteria that make up your microbiome. Some are remnants of ancient infections that have settled into your cells, dormant but still present. Others float freely, neutral passengers with no intention, no purpose beyond existing in the quiet spaces of your internal world. This vast collection of viruses forms a dynamic equilibrium that subtly shapes your health every day, often without you ever sensing its presence. Deep within the gut, phages act as regulators of microbial populations. They quietly monitor the balance of bacterial species, ensuring that no single strain grows powerful enough to disrupt the harmony of the microbiome. When one population expands too rapidly, phages rise to meet it, infecting and reducing its numbers until equilibrium is restored. This interplay between bacteria and phages creates a delicate, self-regulating system that affects digestion, immune function, mental health, and even the production of essential vitamins. Without this invisible viral presence, the microbiome would collapse into imbalance, allowing harmful bacteria to dominate and destabilize the entire body. Elsewhere, endogenous viruses within your genome continue to play subtle roles. Though many remain dormant, some have been integrated into regulatory networks that control gene expression. They act like silent switches or enhancers, influencing when certain genes turn on or off, shaping development, immunity, and cellular differentiation. Their activity is often gentle, rhythmic, unobtrusive, yet remarkably important. These ancient viral sequences function like molecular memories, reminders of past interactions that now guide the inner workings of your biology with quiet precision. Even on the skin, viruses form a protective layer that interacts constantly with microbes and environmental particles. They help shape the community of organisms that live on the body's surface, refining the immune responses that emerge when threats appear. The virome of the skin is like an invisible shield, forming patterns that differ between individuals, between environments, even between different areas of the same body. It evolves with you, shifting as you grow, as you travel, as you age, reflecting subtle changes in lifestyle and exposure. Inside the respiratory system, viruses flow through the moist airways, influencing how the lungs interact with the environment. Some shape immune sensitivity, others help regulate the growth of certain microbial communities. This virome presence does not cause disease. It sets the baseline conditions that determine how the body responds when a harmful pathogen appears. Whether an infection becomes severe or mild often depends on the state of this invisible viral ecosystem that has been accompanying you since birth. And as you imagine this vast, hidden world moving within you, an entire constellation of viral interactions functioning without sound, without sensation, you may feel a deep sense of calm wash over you. The virome is not hostile. It is part of your biological identity, an ancient companion shaped by your ancestry and your environment. It coexists with you, evolves with you, and influences you in ways that are subtle yet profound. Its rhythms are slow, steady, and deeply intertwined with your own. As this realization settles, your thoughts soften, your breath steadies, and you drift deeper into the understanding that the body is not simply a vessel for life, it is an ecosystem in balance. A quiet universe where even viruses play their part in maintaining harmony. For most of your life, the virome remains in a quiet state of cooperation, an invisible equilibrium maintained through countless subtle interactions between viruses, microbes, and immune cells. But there are moments when this balance shifts. Stress, illness, environmental changes, or disruptions in the microbiome can disturb the harmony, allowing dormant viruses to awaken or newly encountered viruses to gain ground. When this happens, the body enters a state of transition where defenses must rise, adapt, and re-establish order. Understanding how equilibrium breaks offers insight into why certain infections spread while others fade, and why the same virus affects individuals so differently. It is a reminder that the internal landscape is not static. It is a dynamic environment sensitive to every ripple of change. In times of physical or emotional stress, hormones like cortisol can weaken immune surveillance, lowering the efficiency with which immune cells patrol tissues and detect early signs of infection. This temporary lapse creates opportunities for latent viruses, like herpes viruses or varicella zoster, to reactivate from dormancy. These viruses reside in nerve cells or immune cells, remaining silent for years, sometimes decades. When the body's internal guard relaxes, they slip out of hiding, replicating with gentle but persistent force. Their reactivation is not malicious, it is biological timing, responding to shifts in the environment that once signaled danger or scarcity in ancestral conditions. Similarly, antibiotic use can disrupt the bacterial communities of the gut, clearing space for new microbial arrangements. In this altered landscape, phages may shift their targets, infecting different bacterial strains and producing rapid changes in the structure of the microbiome. Some bacteria flourish in the absence of competitors, while others diminish. This instability invites new viral interactions, altering the immune system's baseline behavior. A once peaceful equilibrium becomes a fluctuating mosaic, and the body must work quietly to restore balance through immune modulation, microbial regrowth, and chemical rebalancing. External viruses introduced from the environment add another layer of complexity. When a novel virus enters the body, a pathogen the immune system has never seen before, it moves through tissues unrecognized, taking advantage of the brief window before the adaptive response awakens. Symptoms may arise as the body labors to restore control, but beneath those sensations lies a profound orchestration. Immune cells communicating through cytokine networks, antibodies being generated at extraordinary speed, tissues reallocating resources to support defense. Each system adjusts to the invader, not with panic, but with a structured determination that reflects millions of years of evolutionary refinement. And in some cases, the immune response itself becomes part of the imbalance. In conditions of extreme inflammation, the body may overreact, producing cytokines faster than they can be regulated. This creates a storm-like effect, where the immune system amplifies its signals until they become overwhelming. While rare, These events illustrate how finely tuned the internal balance must be. Too little response allows the virus to spread freely. Too much response causes damage of its own. The body's task is not simply to attack, but to calibrate, to find the point where defense becomes effective without becoming excessive. As you contemplate this delicate dance between equilibrium and disruption, a sense of quiet perspective settles in. The body is not a fortress, but a living ecosystem, ever changing, ever adjusting, ever responding to forces both internal and external. Even when balance breaks, the systems within you know how to rebuild it with slow, deliberate precision. This realization, soft and calming, wraps around your awareness like a gentle tide. You recognize that the invisible world inside you is resilient, adaptive, and deeply intelligent. And with that understanding, your mind drifts deeper into stillness, comforted by the knowledge that equilibrium is not a fragile state, but a dynamic rhythm that your body restores again and again with elegant, silent mastery. When the body finally overcomes a viral infection after the waves of interferons, the precise strikes of T cells, the sweeping actions of antibodies, something remarkable happens in the aftermath. The immune system decides what to remember. This memory is not conscious, not emotional, not stored in the mind, but encoded in cells that carry the lessons of past encounters. These memory cells, both B cells and T cells, become the body's living archive, preserving the molecular signatures of the virus long after the threat has passed. Their existence transforms each infection from a moment of vulnerability into a step toward future resilience, creating a landscape where the body becomes wiser with every battle endured. Deep within the lymph nodes, memory B cells rest in a state of quiet readiness. They do not produce antibodies continuously. Instead, they wait patiently, holding the precise blueprint of the viral proteins they once fought. If the same virus attempts to re-enter the body, these memory B cells awaken almost instantly, generating antibodies far more rapidly and effectively than during the initial infection. The response is so swift, so coordinated, that the virus may be neutralized before symptoms ever appear. It is as if the immune system whispers, "I know you," and the invader dissolves back into obscurity. Memory T cells, equally crucial, patrol tissues with calm vigilance. Some remain in the blood, circulating like silent guardians. Others settle into the very tissues where the infection first took root, forming a protective barrier that responds with exceptional speed. These cells carry an imprint of the viral peptides they once recognized. Their reaction upon re-encounter is not hesitant or exploratory, but immediate, a precise strike delivered with the confidence of prior experience. They act as sentinels who have walked the battlefield before and know exactly where danger may appear. This biological memory shapes the immune system on a broader scale as well. With each infection, the body's immunological landscape becomes richer, more complex, more capable of handling future threats. The repertoire of antibodies expands, the diversity of T-cell receptors grows, and the body becomes more adept at distinguishing genuine threats from harmless signals. Even childhood infections, often mild, contribute to this gradual refinement, tuning the immune system so it can navigate the countless microorganisms encountered throughout life. Every illness leaves behind a quiet gift, a molecular lesson that strengthens the whole. Vaccination uses this same principle, guiding the immune system with gentle precision. Instead of facing the full force of a dangerous virus, the body is introduced to a harmless version or fragment of the pathogen. Memory cells form in response, prepared for a threat that may never come, but ready should it appear. This artificial preview creates immunity without the hardship of actual disease. It is one of the most elegant examples of humans working with nature rather than against it, partnering with the immune system's intrinsic intelligence to enhance protection. And as you imagine these memory cells resting within you calm, silent, unwavering, you may feel a sense of profound reassurance settle through your mind. The body does not simply fight and forget. It learns, adapts, and grows wiser with every microscopic encounter. The immune system's memory is long, deep, and quietly vigilant, watching over you in moments of sleep, wakefulness, stress, and calm. This silent intelligence, woven into the fabric of your biology, operates continuously, protecting you with a devotion as steady as your heartbeat. And as this understanding sinks in, your awareness softens, your breath deepens, and you drift into the tranquil certainty that even within the invisible world, nothing is wasted. Every challenge becomes knowledge, every threat becomes memory, and every memory becomes protection. Not all viral encounters end with a clean victory. Some viruses do not disappear when the immune system overcomes the initial infection. Instead, they settle quietly into the body, slipping into a dormant state that can last months, years, or even an entire lifetime. These persistent viruses become silent residents within the human organism, neither fully active nor entirely gone. They hide within tissues, nerve cells, or immune cells, waiting for conditions to shift before revealing themselves again. Their presence is subtle, almost ghost-like, a quiet shadow woven into the biology of the host. One of the most well-known examples is the family of herpes viruses. After the first infection, these viruses retreat into nerve ganglia, folding themselves into the genetic silence of neurons. In this state, they produce almost no proteins, leave almost no trace, and drift beneath the radar of immune surveillance. The body cannot detect them because they offer nothing to be detected. No replication, no movement, only stillness. Yet, the viral genome remains intact, a dormant blueprint that can reactivate when the equilibrium is disrupted, often during periods of stress, fatigue, or immune suppression. The awakening is gradual, not violent, as if the virus feels its opportunity and slowly begins to stir. Other viruses, such as HIV, take persistence to another level. They integrate themselves into the DNA of immune cells, embedding their genetic code directly into the genome of the host. Once integrated, they become part of the cell's identity, passed on as the cell divides. These viruses do not hide outside the system, they hide within it, masquerading as part of the body itself. Eradicating them becomes nearly impossible because doing so would require destroying the very cells the body depends on. These persistent infections reveal how deeply intertwined viral and human biology can become, blurring the boundary between self and other. Persistent viruses can also shape the immune system over time. Their constant presence, even in a dormant state, influences the behavior of immune cells, subtly altering how inflammation is regulated or how vigorously responses are mounted. Some persistent viruses may even provide unexpected benefits. Cytomegalovirus, for example, appears to strengthen certain aspects of the immune system's vigilance in older adults, keeping specific T-cell populations active. Biology rarely draws clean lines between threat and advantage. Instead, it balances interactions across long stretches of time, allowing even harmful entities to play complex roles within the ecosystem of the body. Despite their ability to remain concealed, persistent viruses do not create continuous chaos. Most remain silent for long periods, kept under firm control by the immune system's persistent watch. Only when conditions shift, when the host is under strain, or when the immune system is weakened, do these viruses test the boundaries of their containment. Even then, the immune system responds with measured precision, reasserting dominance and restoring order. The relationship becomes a quiet negotiation, a long-term coexistence forged through evolutionary necessity. As you reflect on this idea that some viruses never truly leave, you may find the concept strangely calming rather than frightening. These microscopic passengers live within you not as active threats, but as silent inhabitants, kept in check by the constant, gentle vigilance of your immune system. They drift in the background of your biology like faint echoes of ancient encounters, reminders of the body's resilience and the mind's ability to remain peaceful even when complexity thrives beneath the surface. And with this realization, your breath slows, your awareness softens, and you sink deeper into the tranquil understanding that coexistence, even with the invisible, is part of the quiet fabric of life. In the vast expanse of Earth's biosphere, viruses move through the world not as isolated particles, but as part of a global web of transmission that connects every living organism. They drift through the air with each breath, travel across continents carried by migrating birds, flow through rivers and oceans, and ride silently on the movements of insects, mammals, and even microscopic plankton. A single viral particle exhaled in one corner of the world can, under the right conditions, begin a chain of events that touches distant populations, weaving itself into the fabric of ecosystems far removed from its origin. The pathways of viral transmission form an intricate network shaped by climate, behavior, geography, and the rhythms of life itself, an invisible circulation as natural as the movement of wind or water. Human activity amplifies these pathways in profound ways. Urban environments, with their dense populations and constant movement, create ideal corridors for viral spread. Global travel allows pathogens to cross oceans in the span of hours, turning localized outbreaks into international events. Agricultural practices bring species into close contact that would never mingle naturally, providing new opportunities for viruses to jump between hosts. Each interaction, each handshake, each shared surface, each moment of proximity becomes a point of connection in this silent network. It is not chaos, but complexity. Countless tiny threads joining together to form the patterns of transmission that shape human history. Within the animal world, viruses move with their own biological logic. Bats, with their unique immune systems and long lifespans, serve as reservoirs for diverse viral families. Rodents carry their own viromes, dispersing them through the environments they inhabit. Birds spread viruses across hemispheres as they migrate, following ancient routes inscribed in their instincts. These animals are not villains. They are participants in natural cycles that long predate humanity. The viruses they carry evolved alongside them, forming relationships shaped by balance rather than disease. It is only when ecological boundaries blur, when habitats shrink, when species mix, when human expansion disrupts equilibrium, that new viral pathways open and cross the threshold into human populations. Environmental changes also guide the movement of viruses in subtle ways. Rising temperatures influence the range of insects, like mosquitoes and ticks, allowing them to carry viruses into regions once too cold for their survival. Deforestation forces wildlife into closer proximity with human settlements, altering the dynamics of viral exchange between species. Even the thawing of ancient permafrost can release long-dormant viral particles into ecosystems that have never encountered them. These shifts illustrate how intimately viruses respond to the changing world, adjusting their routes as landscapes transform, following the currents of ecological disruption with silent precision. And yet, despite the vastness of this global web, the majority of viruses never cause illness in humans. Most remain locked within the ecosystems or species where they evolved, harmless to us, interacting only with the organisms that shaped their existence. The human body encounters thousands of viral particles every day, most of which pose no threat at all. Illness arises only when specific biological compatibilities align, when a virus finds the right receptor, the right host environment, the right circumstances to replicate. This reveals a deeper truth. While viruses are everywhere, disease is rare. The world is saturated with particles of life and non-life, drifting in patterns older than civilization, yet only a fraction ever touch human biology with force. As you reflect on this global web of viral transmission, a gentle sense of perspective begins to settle in. The movement of viruses is not a story of fear, but of interconnectedness, an invitation to see the world as a continuous flow of interactions, each shaped by nature's quiet intelligence. The invisible currents that carry viruses across the earth are the same currents that carry seeds, dust, water vapor, and microbial life. They remind you that the world is a living tapestry, woven from countless threads of activity unfolding far beyond human awareness. And as this understanding deepens, your breath slows, your mind softens, and you drift deeper into the tranquil realization that even the forces we cannot see are part of a greater harmony, moving through the world with ancient rhythmic grace. To understand viruses fully, one must look far beyond their modern behaviors and examine the ancient world that gave rise to them. Long before complex organisms walked the earth, long before plants breathed or animals dreamed, the planet was filled with simple, self-replicating molecules drifting through primordial oceans. Among these early forms, bits of genetic material, RNA and DNA, moved freely, experimenting with ways to copy themselves, assemble protective shells, and interact with the environment. Many scientists believe that viruses emerged from this early molecular chaos, relics of a time when life itself was still discovering what it meant to exist. They are, in this sense, fossils of the pre-cellular world, carrying within them whispers from an age when the line between life and chemistry was almost indistinguishable. One theory suggests that viruses were once fully autonomous organisms that gradually shed unnecessary cellular machinery, becoming streamlined parasites. In this view, they are descendants of ancient cells that abandoned independence in favor of efficiency, reducing themselves to the bare essentials of replication. Another theory argues the opposite, that viruses arose from genetic fragments escaping early cells, gaining mobility and spreading from organism to organism like pieces of rogue information. A third possibility places viruses at the very origin of life itself, proposing that they represent the most ancient replicators, prototypes of genetic systems that later evolved into cellular organisms. Each theory paints a different picture, yet all converge on a single idea. Viruses are among the oldest companions of life, present at the very threshold of biological history. Evidence for this ancient origin appears everywhere. Viral genes can be found woven into the genomes of bacteria, plants, animals, and humans, often with structures that predate major evolutionary branches. The diversity of viral shapes, from the geometric perfection of icosahedral capsids to the elegant spirals of helical viruses, suggests an unimaginably long history of molecular experimentation. Giant viruses like mimiviruses and pandoraviruses, with genomes larger than some bacteria, further blur the boundary between virus and cell, hinting at evolutionary paths that branched and rejoined countless times. These anomalies challenge our definitions, forcing science to confront the possibility that life's earliest forms were far stranger and far more intertwined than once imagined. In the harsh environments of early Earth volcanic oceans, hydrothermal vents, mineral-rich pools, viral-like particles may have played essential roles in genetic innovation. By transferring genes between early cells, they accelerated evolution, stitching together new combinations of traits that allowed life to adapt quickly to an unpredictable world. Their ability to move genetic information across species lines, a process still observed today, may have been crucial in shaping the earliest metabolic pathways and cellular structures. In this way, viruses were not merely parasites but catalysts, nudging life forward, encouraging diversity, and testing countless variations of form and function. Even today, the evolutionary legacy of viruses can be seen in the genetic architecture of all living things. The enzymes responsible for copying DNA, the systems that regulate gene expression, and the molecular switches that control cellular behavior all bear traces of ancient viral influence. The boundary between host and virus becomes blurred when viewed through deep time. The two have shaped one another in an endless dance of adaptation and counter-adaptation. Life, in many ways, is a co-creation forged by the perpetual interplay of cellular organisms and the viral entities that inhabit them. As you let these ideas settle, a quiet awe begins to unfold within your awareness. The invisible enemy, often feared for its capacity to cause illness, is also an ancient survivor, a molecular messenger from the dawn of existence. Its simplicity is not a sign of weakness, but of profound evolutionary refinement. Its persistence throughout Earth's history reflects not malice, but inevitability, a natural consequence of chemistry seeking self-replication. And as you drift deeper into this understanding, your breath softens, your thoughts lengthen, and you sink into a serene recognition. Viruses are not merely threats, they are echoes of creation itself, silent companions that have shaped life from its very beginning. At first glance, viruses seem far too simple to wield the immense power they do. A handful of genes, a protein shell, sometimes a lipid envelope, that is all. No metabolism, no internal compartments, no systems to sustain themselves. And yet, this simplicity is precisely what makes them so potent. Viruses occupy the lowest possible threshold of biological complexity, existing as strands of genetic code waiting to be awakened by the machinery of another organism. Their lack of structure is not a weakness, it is a strategy, one that allows them to replicate with extraordinary speed, evolve rapidly, and persist in environments where more complex life would struggle to survive. In this way, viruses reveal a paradox at the heart of biology. Sometimes the smallest forms wield the greatest influence. The viral genome is a masterpiece of minimalism. While human DNA contains more than 20,000 genes, some viruses survive with fewer than 10. Each gene is essential, none are wasted. Every sequence is refined to perform a specific function, binding to a receptor, assembling a capsid, hijacking a ribosome, escaping immune detection. The efficiency is breathtaking. Even the most advanced machines designed by human engineering cannot match the elegance of a viral particle assembling itself spontaneously from simple molecular parts. It suggests a deeper truth. Viruses are not crude invaders, but highly optimized information packets, shaped by billions of years of evolutionary pressure to operate at the very edge of what we define as life. The capsid itself reflects this efficiency. Built from repeating protein units, it forms geometric structures of stunning precision, icosahedrons, helices, complex symmetrical forms that self-assemble without guidance. This self-assembly is not orchestrated by intelligence but by physics. Electrostatic forces, hydrophobic interactions, and the natural tendency of molecules to settle into stable patterns. Watching a viral capsid assemble under an electron microscope is like witnessing a microscopic ballet, each piece finding its place with fluid certainty. This elegant process happens millions of times within a single infected cell, each new particle forming with the same quiet accuracy. Even their replication cycles demonstrate profound biological intelligence, not conscious intelligence, but the intelligence of natural selection. Viruses do not copy themselves blindly. They exploit the vulnerabilities of their hosts with remarkable specificity. Some target rapidly dividing cells, slipping into the machinery, already preparing new DNA. Others integrate directly into the host genome, waiting for the right signals to awaken. Still others remain outside cells entirely, listening for chemical cues or membrane fluctuations that indicate a suitable host is near. These strategies are not planned but inherited, written into their genetic code by countless generations of survival. Their simplicity allows them to adapt with a speed unmatched by any cellular organism. And within this simplicity lies resilience. Viruses can survive freezing temperatures, acidic environments, dehydration, even the vacuum of space. Some remain infectious after thousands of years trapped in ice or preserved in desiccated tissues. Their durability reflects their structure. No fragile organelles to damage, no membranes to rupture, only compact genetic information protected by protein shells. In an ever-changing world full of threats, complexity can become a liability, but simplicity endures. Viruses persist because they require so little to exist: only a host, only a moment, only the slightest opportunity to awaken and replicate. As these ideas settle into your mind, a slow, soothing clarity begins to form. The paradox of viral simplicity reveals something profound about nature, that power does not always come from complexity, and influence is not always tied to size. Viruses remind us that life's boundaries are fluid, that evolution favors elegance over extravagance, and that the smallest structures can shape entire worlds. And as you contemplate the silent brilliance of their design, your breath deepens, your awareness softens, and you drift deeper into a calm understanding. In the vast tapestry of biology, even the simplest threads carry extraordinary weight. While many viruses exist as tiny, minimalist particles, there is another realm unexpected, enigmatic, where viruses defy our assumptions entirely. These are the giant viruses, entities so large and genetically rich that they challenge the boundary between virus and cell. Discovered only in recent decades, they are larger than some bacteria, visible under standard light microscopes, and carry genomes far more complex than any traditional virus. Their names, mimivirus, pandavirus, megavirus, reflect the mystery they embody. They are viral paradoxes, combining simplicity and complexity in ways no one predicted, expanding our understanding of what a virus can be. Giant viruses possess genomes that can reach over 1 million base pairs, containing hundreds or even thousands of genes. Some of these genes encode proteins involved in DNA repair, protein translation, or metabolic processes, functions once believed to exist only in cellular organisms. Their genetic wealth suggests a long and tangled evolutionary history, perhaps emerging from ancient cells that shrank and lost independence, or perhaps representing an entirely separate lineage of life that diverged before the emergence of modern cells. Whatever their origins, they defy the traditional definition of viruses as mere genetic fragments. They are biological puzzles too complex to fit neatly into viral categories, yet lacking the full machinery of independent life. Even more astonishing is their behavior during infection. Unlike typical viruses that slip silently into cells, giant viruses invade amoebas with a level of structural sophistication. Their capsids open like mechanical devices, releasing internal viral factories called viroplasms, organized hubs within the host cell where replication unfolds. These viroplasms resemble primitive organelles, producing viral components in a coordinated fashion that echoes the internal structure of living cells. It is as though giant viruses build temporary mini-cities inside their hosts, complete with assembly lines and structural scaffolds, before disassembling everything and departing in a cloud of new particles. The discovery of virophages added yet another layer of mystery. These tiny viruses infect giant viruses themselves, parasitizing their replication machinery and reducing their ability to reproduce. The existence of viruses that infect viruses challenges our understanding of biological hierarchy. It reveals an unseen world of predator and prey relationships on a microscopic scale, a complex network in which even viruses can fall victim to smaller viral entities. This layered ecology, cells hosting giant viruses hosting virophages, demonstrates that the viral world is far more intricate than ever imagined, filled with structures and interactions that blur the boundaries of life's kingdoms. Giant viruses also interact with the environment in unexpected ways. Found in ocean waters, soil, and permafrost, they play roles in ecological cycles still poorly understood. Their ability to survive extreme conditions suggests that they may persist for vast stretches of time, resurfacing when environmental shifts or thawing ice release them into new ecosystems. Some researchers propose that giant viruses could have influenced early evolution, acting as ancient gene reservoirs that shaped the development of primitive cellular life. Their presence in diverse habitats hints at a deep, hidden history, one that spans eons and links ancient Earth to the life we see today. As you contemplate these colossal viral entities, so different from the tiny, minimalist viruses that dominate the world, a quiet fascination begins to unfold. Giant viruses remind us that nature does not follow simple categories. It experiments, diversifies, and creates forms that challenge our assumptions. Their existence invites you to imagine a world beyond familiar boundaries, a world where scale and complexity intermingle in ways that feel almost dreamlike. And as your mind drifts through the strange beauty of this hidden realm, you feel your thoughts softening, your breath easing, and your awareness settling into a deeper, more tranquil rhythm, carried by the knowledge that even in the smallest corners of reality, the universe holds wonders vast enough to reshape your understanding of life. Though viruses operate far below the level of awareness, moving through tissues, drifting between cells, replicating in molecular silence, their influence can rise upward, subtly shaping the body's chemistry in ways that reach the mind itself. When the immune system detects an infection, it releases a constellation of signaling molecules known as cytokines. These molecules travel through the bloodstream not only to activate immune cells, but also to communicate with the brain. The mind listens closely to these chemical whispers, adjusting mood, energy, appetite, and cognition in response. This is why even mild infections can make you feel tired, unfocused, or withdrawn. The immune system is deliberately shifting your behavior, encouraging rest so the body can redirect its energy toward healing. These changes are not simply symptoms, they are intricate, evolutionarily shaped responses that link the invisible world of viruses to the conscious experience of being human. Deep in the brain, the hypothalamus interprets these immune signals and alters the body's internal settings, adjusting temperature, hunger, and circadian rhythms. Fever, often seen as an unpleasant consequence of illness, is actually a carefully calibrated defense, raising body temperature just enough to slow viral replication. But fever also affects the mind, creating a haze that dulls attention and slows the pace of thought. This mental quieting is not a failure of cognition, it is a protective retreat, a way for consciousness to soften while the body directs its focus inward. In this state, the boundaries between waking and dreaming can blur. Thoughts flow sluggishly, sensations feel distant, and the mind drifts into a tranquil liminality, guided by chemistry rather than will. Some viruses influence the nervous system more directly. Certain respiratory viruses can affect the olfactory pathways, subtly altering the brain's perception of smell and taste. Others trigger immune responses that shift levels of neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, influencing mood and emotional balance. These effects are rarely intentional. Viruses do not seek to manipulate, but they arise because the immune system, in its attempt to restore equilibrium, adjusts the very chemicals that shape consciousness. Even fatigue, the deep heaviness that accompanies many infections, is a neurological adaptation that encourages stillness, urging the body to conserve energy. To the mind, this heaviness feels like a gentle pull downward, a soft gravitational invitation toward rest. In some rare cases, viral infections can leave lasting imprints on the brain. Inflammation, if severe, can alter neural circuits, reshaping pathways of memory or emotional processing. These changes reflect the intimate proximity between the immune system and the nervous system. Their communication is constant, their boundaries porous. Neuroimmunology, the field that studies this interplay, reveals that the brain is never isolated from the body's internal environment. When the immune system stirs, the mind feels its movements, sometimes subtly, sometimes intensely, always through the quiet language of chemicals drifting across the blood-brain barrier. even long after an infection has passed, echoes of the immune response can linger, leaving the mind slightly altered, softened, or recalibrated. And yet, for most viruses, the influence on consciousness is transient and gentle. Once the immune system re-establishes control, the cytokine signals fade, neural chemistry returns to balance, and the mind regains clarity. What remains is a memory, not of pain or struggle, but of the deep stillness the body induced, a biological lullaby that invites restoration. This connection between infection and awareness highlights a profound truth. Consciousness is not a separate entity floating above biology. It is interwoven with the body's hidden cycles, rising and falling in harmony with immune rhythms, metabolic tides, and molecular negotiations that unfold far beneath thought. As you let this idea drift through your awareness, you may feel a subtle softening, a recognition that the body and mind move together through every challenge, every microscopic encounter. The invisible world within you is not separate from your experience. It shapes it, colors it, guides it with signals older than language. And as this recognition settles, your breath becomes slower, your thoughts lengthen, and you sink deeper into a calm understanding. Even in the smallest interactions, the body speaks to the mind, and the mind listens, resting gently in the quiet intelligence of biological connection. Far beyond the boundaries of the human body, viruses play a vast and intricate role in the natural world. Every ecosystem, from tropical rainforests to polar ice caps, from ocean depths to desert sands, is shaped quietly by viral activity. These particles drift through the environment as invisible architects, regulating populations, redistributing nutrients, and influencing the evolutionary trajectories of countless species. They are not external to life, they are woven into its cycles. In places untouched by humans, viruses move through communities of animals, plants, bacteria, and fungi with a subtle consistency, maintaining balance in ways that rarely draw attention but profoundly shape the stability of ecosystems. In the oceans, viruses are among the most abundant entities on Earth. A single liter of seawater contains billions of viral particles, many of which infect marine microbes. When viruses lyse these microbial cells, they release organic matter back into the water, fueling what scientists call the viral shunt, a recycling process that feeds marine food webs and helps regulate global carbon cycles. Without viral activity, vast amounts of carbon would sink to the ocean floor, altering planetary climate patterns. Instead, viruses keep nutrients circulating, ensuring that phytoplankton continue producing oxygen and sustaining the base of the marine ecosystem. Entire climate systems depend on this microscopic interplay, a quiet exchange that supports life across the globe. In terrestrial environments, viruses influence plant health in complex and sometimes unexpected ways. While some plant viruses cause disease, others confer benefits, such as increasing drought tolerance or enhancing resistance to pests. Certain fungal viruses enable their hosts to survive in extreme temperatures. Others allow plants to inhabit soil conditions that would otherwise be lethal. These mutualistic relationships reveal that viruses, despite their reputation as pathogens, can form alliances that strengthen entire ecosystems. They act as subtle genetic messengers, transferring traits across species and enabling life to adapt to changing environments with remarkable speed. Animal populations are also shaped by viral interactions. Rodents, bats, primates, birds all serve as reservoirs for diverse viral communities that help regulate population dynamics. When a population grows too rapidly, viral outbreaks naturally curb expansion, preventing ecological imbalance. This is not intentional control, but the natural outcome of close interactions between hosts and viruses, honed over evolutionary time. These cycles ensure that no single species dominates its habitat unchecked, maintaining a delicate equilibrium that supports diversity. In this way, viruses become agents of ecological stability, silently shaping the rise and fall of populations. Even soil ecosystems rely on viral activity. Microbes responsible for breaking down organic matter and enriching the soil are constantly infected by bacteriophages, a process that modulates their abundance and efficiency. These interactions influence plant growth, carbon storage, water retention, and the health of entire forests and grasslands. When viral activity shifts due to climate change, pollution, or habitat loss, the structure of the soil microbiome can change dramatically, altering the fertility and resilience of entire landscapes. Through these hidden pathways, viruses affect not only individual organisms, but the very foundations of ecosystems. As you reflect on this vast ecological influence, a sense of quiet interconnectedness begins to settle in. Viruses, though microscopic, participate in the grand orchestration of Earth's systems with rhythms that echo across continents and oceans. Their movements are subtle, their presence often unnoticed, yet their impact is profound. They remind you that the world is shaped not only by the visible forces of wind, water, and life, but also by the invisible currents of genetic exchange and microscopic balance. And as this awareness deepens, your breath becomes slower, your mind softer, and you drift into a tranquil recognition. Even the smallest particles contribute to the harmony of the planet, moving in cycles as ancient and gentle as the rise and fall of the tides. Throughout this journey, you have traveled into a world that exists far beyond the reach of sight, a world where particles smaller than wavelengths of light drift through bodies, oceans, forests, and time itself. Viruses, once seen only as enemies, reveal themselves as something far more intricate. Ancient messengers, architects of evolution, regulators of ecosystems, and silent participants in the unfolding story of life. Their presence spans billions of years, from the primordial oceans to the cells within you now. They have shaped species, sculpted genomes, and guided the rise and fall of populations with a subtle influence that echoes across the planet. And as we pull back from this vast microscopic universe, a quiet understanding begins to form. Viruses are not simply destroyers, they are woven into the very fabric of existence. Across your body, the traces of their presence linger, some as dormant fragments nestled within your DNA, others as harmless passengers drifting through your microbiome, and a few as memory imprints held by the vigilant cells of your immune system. These relationships are not signs of fragility but of resilience, reminders that every organism on Earth is connected to the unseen world. The immune system's elegant responses, the virome's hidden balance, the evolutionary gifts left behind by ancient infections, all come together to reveal a deeper truth. Life has never been alone. It has always existed in conversation with the microscopic, adapting, learning, and growing stronger with every encounter. And beyond the boundaries of the human body, the invisible world continues its quiet work. In the oceans, viral tides circulate nutrients and sustain entire ecosystems. In forests and grasslands, viral exchanges help plants survive harsh conditions and shape the soil beneath your feet. In animals, viruses guide population dynamics, ensuring that balance is preserved across countless species. Even the atmosphere carries viral particles across continents, connecting distant corners of the Earth in ways we are only beginning to understand. This invisible network forms a planetary rhythm, soft, constant, ancient, and ever-present pulse that binds the living world into a single, interconnected whole. When you step back and listen to this rhythm, something shifts. Fear softens into perspective. Complexity transforms into calm. The invisible enemy becomes the invisible ecosystem, always present, always moving, always shaping the world with delicate precision. And in that realization, your own breath begins to align with this quiet rhythm. It slows, deepens, settles. The mind releases its tension. The body sinks into the gentle weight of stillness. You begin to feel the same balance that governs every cell, every organism, every cycle of the viral world, an equilibrium that invites rest rather than resistance. So now, as this exploration comes to an end, allow the knowledge you've gathered to settle like dust drifting to the ocean floor. Let the vastness of the microscopic universe fade into a soft hum beneath your awareness. There is nothing more to analyze, nothing more to wonder. Only the quiet understanding that life, in all its forms, moves through cycles of connection, adaptation, and renewal. And you are part of that cycle, protected by your immune system, shaped by your ancestors, supported by the unseen symphony of biology that surrounds you. And with that, the invisible world grows silent once more. The mind becomes still. The body loosens its hold, and you drift gently into the calm that follows deep understanding. A calm as ancient and quiet as the viruses themselves. The journey ends here. Rest now.